okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
The era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
The era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town.
All right, so all of the wealthy left New York. Well, most of the wealthy are leaving New York, right? So we're going to talk about New York for a quick second. Of course, we all know Mamdani. Mamdani is the mayor of New York, and he done ran all the millionaires away. This video is important because we always hear this, let's tax the millionaires. Everybody want to tax the millionaires. Well, here's the problem with taxing the millionaires. The millionaires carry most of the taxes. The millionaires pay most of the taxes. So when you tax the millionaires, they end up leaving. Those taxes still exist. The poor people can't pay them. So you know what happens? It falls on the middle class. Boom. See how that works? So now, the wealthy left New York. Mamdani, he's raising the taxes. Now they're begging for the wealthy people to come back. They need more funding. So I tell everybody, you want to keep the rich people nice and happy. I don't care how it sounds. Let's think about this logically here. Two things happen when you tax the rich. One thing happens is they raise the prices. Okay? When they raise the prices, everything costs more. Don't think for 1 second that the wealthy is going to take a hit on their money to appease to you. Don't think that they didn't get what they got doing that. Second thing is going to happen, they're going to take their things and go. Poor people don't have the luxury to just pick up and leave. Middle class don't have the luxury to just pick up and leave. Wealthy people, you keep taxing them, they're going to pick up and leave. They pay most of the taxes. When they leave, the middle class gets hammered. Poor people can't pay them. Now the middle class are the more wealthy, so they're going to tax the middle class. The bill has to be paid. Let that be like just an understanding on why you leave. You want to keep the rich people happy. They pay all the bills in the city. All right, so we're going to go to this video real quick. This was a statement she made in 2022. And then she retracted, she doubled back on that statement this year in 2026 because the millionaires are gone. Let's see what she got to say.
Because you don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
The era of Trump.
So this is in 2022. She's basically sending it to the millionaires, the wealthy. She's saying, yo, listen, you guys can leave. You guys don't believe in what we believe in. Now mind you, Mamdani's a socialist, okay? So in their mind, hey, let's tax the rich more, as if though they're not paying enough. Let's tax them more so we can have these social programs, okay? So 2022, she's standing strong. She says, hey, you guys can leave. Go down Florida. We don't care. When that money started drying up, I said this before, when resources dry up, people tend to come back to their senses. It's a human thing. Don't worry about it. So 2022, here she is.
And Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town. Because you don't...
You see that? That's her message. That's her message to the wealthy folks. Now, mind you, the wealthy end up leaving. Guess what? They take the institutions and corporations with them. Now you have no jobs. I don't know why people think, oh, we're going to tax the millionaires, and that's why I know for some reason people hate rich people for some reason. I don't know. Everybody would love to be rich, but for some reason we hate rich people. I don't understand how that works. Don't care either. Just telling you what it is. So when the rich people leave, not only are they taking their money for paying taxes, this is how the city starts running. Bridges, police officers, taxes are important. Wealthy people paying the bulk of this. They leave, not only are they not paying the bill, but they also taking their businesses with them. When they take their businesses with them, now there's a shortage in jobs. What do you think was going to happen? You think you're going to force these people just to hand out more money? It doesn't work that way. I'm just saying. In the perfect world, maybe you have millionaires that will come and allocate this money. Fine, but that just doesn't really work in the real world. They've lost so much wealth by raising these property taxes.
You don't represent our values. You are not New Yorkers.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now
you hear this? You hear this? Now she didn't totally did a backflip. Now she retracted all that and she's saying, hey, listen, the wealthy, I need you guys to come back because the tax base has eroded. We ain't got no more money. We promised these people free things. We don't have no more money. The city has to run, right?
there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
The era.
Not only did she say, hey, you guys can get out of here and go down Florida, now when she doubled back, she said, listen, go down there and bring those wealthy people back and cut me the check. You see? So definitely want to talk about that. That was very interesting. But of course, we all knew that was going to happen. How else would it have turned out?
New York Governor Kathy Hochul is literally begging millionaires who fled to Florida to come back and pay her taxes.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home.
Patriotic millionaires? Cut me the checks? This is the same leadership that ran on taxing the rich more, and now acts shocked when the rich vote with their feet. New York City Mayor Mamdani campaigned and governs on tax the rich as his number one fix. He's demanding a new 2% surcharge on anyone earning over $1 million, plus jacking up corporate taxes, saying if Hochul won't approve it, he threatens to slam property taxes on everyone else. But Governor Hochul, she's the moderate who says no to new.
Now you got the with these socialistic programs, and you're talking about free stuff. I don't know if whatever. The money has to come from somewhere. So he's going to tax the wealthy. If that doesn't work, he's just going to raise the property taxes on everybody. That's a trick bag. That's a lose-lose situation. How does that work out? Now, you have some people that actually believe, if you got more money, you should give more. That's not really your choice. I do believe in sharing. I do believe that we should all stick together, of course, no problem. But you got to let that person decide what they want to do with that. You have to let that person decide. You can't just be entitled to someone's money and just say, hey, man, you got all that money. I'm sure you can give a little bit more. That's not for you to say. But that's my opinion on it. It's just my opinion on it. Everybody has different ways of looking at it. Fine. We can agree to disagree, if there's even a thing.
Hikes, but still wants those same rich folks funding generous social programs and whatever else Albanese spends money on. Both ran promising more taxes on success to fix budgets, and the result is a $4+ billion state shortfall, city gaps over $10 billion looming. And now this desperate plea. This isn't leadership. This is chasing the golden goose after you've already plucked it half to death. Since 2020, over 125,000 New Yorkers have fled to...
Yeah, you can't you can't tell these people, hey, get out, we don't need you, blah, blah, blah. And then when money gets tight, you come back and you say, oh, yeah, we need you guys. No apology. No, oh, I miscalculated. No, maybe I misspoke. None of that. She's just basically, cut me the check. Really? Cut me the check? You done just insulted these people. You tried to take their money. You tried to give it to people that did half as much work as them. Then you insult them and you say, get out. And then once the resources dry up, you tell them to cut a check. Yo, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? What exactly are we doing here? Really?
Florida, taking up the $14 billion in income with them. New York City alone lost $9+ billion just to Miami and Palm Beach. Statewide, New York is hemorrhaging $111 billion in adjusted gross income over the last decade to low-tax states. In 2024 alone, nearly 1,700 millionaires packed up and moved. Florida gained $196 million from migrants like these. And why? Well, because there's no state income tax in Florida. 0. But in New York, state rates are up to 10.9%. And a $1 million earner could save over $120,000 a year just by moving south. And a $5 million earner, nearly $770,000 in savings. So it's no wonder why wealthy people have mass fled the state. The top 1% already pay 40% of New York City's income tax.
So let this be a lesson. Let this be a lesson to everybody. When they talk about taxing the rich, that is not a good thing. Sounds good. We've all been programmed. Oh, let's tax the rich so we can get more. Yo, it never works out that way. When you start taxing the rich, once you piss them off, they pack their bags and they leave. The butt of the joke falls on poor people. Well, mostly the middle class. That's what happens. It's not a good thing. I don't even know why people get excited when they say let's tax the rich. It doesn't work out. It's the worst thing that can happen. You basically playing with fire. You saying, okay, you threatening these people to take all their wealth and go to another state where they can save more money for their kids. Remember, these are wealthy people. Their mindset is a little bit different from the rest. They 1% for a reason. They didn't just get there by coincidence. They're not going to jeopardize all that they're not going to do it. So let's go ahead and continue this video. We almost wrapped up with this video.
Taxes. You drive them out and the middle class gets the bill.
There you go. There you go. You just said it. The middle class gets the bill. The middle class gets the bill. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking, Yeah, we're going to show the wealthy. Like, they got to give us some of that money. No, they don't. Who told you that? Who lied to you and told you that these people have to give you their money?
It easy. High costs, crime, and failed policies made it irresistible. This isn't rich people being greedy, it's America's exercising freedom, moving where government doesn't punish success. Taxing the rich more sounds fair in a soundbite, but it's not. America was built on the idea that if you work hard, innovate, build wealth, you keep more of it. That's the American dream, not success pays for everyone else's programs until you flee. These policies punish the very people who create jobs, pay the bulk of taxes, and drive the economy. And businesses
That's what I just said it. Wealthy people pay bulk of the taxes. They drive the economy. They create jobs. Why are you messing with them? Who does that? I can even see that. I'm not the smartest person in the world at all. And I can see that. Like, I mean, they pay most of the taxes. They keep the economy running. And they create the jobs. Why are you gonna tax the wealthy? They lied to you. Oh, wealthy people are evil. Oh, you gotta leave them wealthy people alone. Oh, the wealthy people are all trying to kill us. Yeah, okay, wait till you get some wealth. And I hope they try to take your money too. I don't, but I do. Because that's the only way we're going to learn. Can't just be taking these people money. Like, what kind of, like, are you kidding me? Talking about some cut the check. What?
Following, hundreds of companies left New York City for Florida and Texas, taking billions more with them. The result is an eroding tax base, budget crisis, and higher costs for working families that are left behind. But Florida thrives with low taxes, opportunity, and freedom. New York? It's bleeding residents and becoming a cautionary tale. New York leadership chose tax the rich over growth. Now they're begging the exiles to come home.
But maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been.
She said, who you can bring back home. She said, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. She said, just bring them back home, please. Bring the wealthy people back home, please. Exactly. They should have never left in the first place. Got to show these millionaires more respect, man. You got to. Well, you ain't got to do anything, but, I'm just saying.
Wrote it.
All right, that's crazy. I think we got one more.
With YouTube Premium, enjoy ad-free videos.
We got one more
Plus,
video we're going to jump on because
New York Governor
what I want to
Kathy
do
Hochul
is I want to show you the consensus, right? This is, I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, I did a video last month about capitalism versus socialism, right? We get fed these ideas, and sometimes they sound good at the time, but when you really break them down, it doesn't really make any sense at all. We're going to focus on this for a quick second because this is very important. Democrats,
replacement,
whatever, Republicans, socialists, raising taxes on the wealthy is not a good thing. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them lie to you.
that we've ever had in the history.
Now you can not like somebody all you want, but you don't disrespect the people that are footing the whole tax bills. You don't like them, fine. Don't talk to them. But when you get on national TV and tell them to get out your state, we don't need you. Can't tell them to come back when the resources start drying up. That's what we gonna do here? How does that work?
Leave in 10 years than New York. My state has seen more wealth leave in 10 years than New York. Mike, that soundbite is shocking, to say the least.
Almost comical, but the crazy part is, I mean, she's an intelligent woman, supposedly. No one's coming back unless you change the policies that cause them to leave in the first place.
Right.
So just to come back because the governor, who won't change any of her policies, wants you to come back, the high net worth people are smart enough to go where their money's going to be treated best, and that's Florida. So you have to do better than what she's doing. You want to keep people in New York to pay taxes for her social programs, you have to offer them something. But keeping it status quo, you're going to get more of the exact same, and that's people leaving quickly.
Jackie, what makes me nervous about this is we always talk about watch what I do, not what I say. She's saying a lot of things because she's in an election year, but the actions haven't changed.
I don't believe her.
I don't either.
She endorsed Mamdani. She realizes right now that she needs revenue to be reelected and to keep things afloat so that she doesn't look like the total utter disaster that she actually is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a separate issue. There's something playing out behind the scenes. David and I commiserate all the time about Mamdani, and we read this and we read that, and can you believe he wants to do this? And, it'll blow your mind, and it's really disheartening, especially for people who live here. But I was reading an interesting article that was we've been talking about Donald Trump threatening federal funding and to pull some of that. I've been waiting for that paddle, to come kind of smack Mamdani and the city. But I was reading about a couple of lawsuits that gave me a little hope. Their Gateway project is a project where they want to be able to connect New York and New Jersey even further with more tunnels. That is stalled in court. That would be partially federally funded. The Second Avenue subway past 96th Street, which is where it ends right now, there was an expansion plan to take it up much further than that. That is tied up in court as well. So federal funds are not flowing here the way that they once were without any questions being asked. And I think that that's sort of like the story that nobody is talking about silently, but that is going to end up being what makes everybody do a little 180 the way Kathy Hochul has done.
David, you're kind of nodding along.
Well, because, again, Jackie and I have been commiserating with each other about this for a while. But when she said the first tape that we played, where she said, I don't need you, go to Florida, and that was in 2022. From 2012.
Yeah, man. You know why? You know why, man? Because the crazy thing about it is that for my folks, my people, I love my people, right? I really do. I love everybody, but I got an affinity for my people, of course. Everybody should have an affinity for their people, right? I just want to give a different perspective on how this thing works. You know, for a long time it's been beating our head, yo. We gotta. The wealthy people are evil, and you know we gotta take their money, and you know they're the evil people. And you know I want to just like show some perspective on that. And you're entitled to still do that, but just want to show what happens when they pack their bags and leave. They have the flexibility to say, hey, look. This state isn't good for my money. I'm going to go ahead and take it, pack my bags, and go elsewhere. Poor people don't really have that option. Middle class don't really have that option sometimes. So they're stuck there. So you want to work with the millionaires. You want the jobs to be there. You want the resources to be there. The taxes to be paid. Nice bridges. You want your good police officers training. You want everything you need to make the city function. All right? In order for that to happen, you need capital. And who has the most capital? The wealthy people do. So I don't think it's a good idea that you fuck with the wealthy people. Go shake their hand. Tell them good job. Get some advice. Hell. But whatever you do, don't run them off. Jesus Christ.
To 2022, New York lost 1.7 million people that going to places like Florida. So as she was saying that, we had lost the people. That's the money that we've lost. But the people that make that money are the most important part of that equation. And so she has not gotten it for a while. She did finally get some knock on the head that made her realize that we can't go on like that. And that was probably the budget. But then...
Hey, Lit Ninja, I appreciate the followers, bro. Appreciate the followers, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
You have Mamdani. I mean, the thing, I was born here. I've lived here for 46 years because I moved out when I was a kid, but came back because I loved it. So I've been through all kinds of stuff. I've been through the various crime waves, 9/11, the pandemic, etc. But I never thought I would leave. Now I'm beginning to feel that way. And people who've been here for a long time are beginning to... I love this city. I know people out there think I'm crazy for doing this, but folks, I've got my roots here, and you don't want to be chased out of the place that you have your roots.
Quality of life has really eroded.
Quality of life has eroded. So there are a lot. And then you have these 11 tax proposals that Mamdani has come out with, most of which, with the exception of the property tax, he can't do without her support.
Right.
Is she going to support him in order to get the left wing to support her bid for re-election? I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't bet against it. It goes directly against what she just said, but she folds like a cheap suit.
So there's another...
He said she folds like a cheap suit. That's terrible.
You brought up some revenue tax proposals. Brian, let me go to you on this proposal. In City Hall, Zohran Mamdani is pushing to make the Big Apple home to the highest minimum wage in the country. But one analyst at the Manhattan Institute warning that the plan would actually hurt workers that Mamdani is trying to help, saying that $30 minimum wage proposal could cause higher prices, obliterate certain industries, and definitely not make New York more affordable. All right, so you're my economist. Walk me through, and for our audience, what does a $30 minimum wage do? Is it helpful or hurtful?
It means boom
Yeah, this is a good one right here, y'all. This is a good one.
time for robots and AI. That's all it means. Any company that can afford it will find a way to automate it. It's it. It's the easiest way to kill jobs in an era when you have the best replacement for human workers that we've ever had in the history of the world. But you know what? You know what wins here? Kathy Hochul's losing. Mamdani will lose. Do you know what wins here?
Federalism.
Federalism.
I knew it.
I don't. You know what?
You and
Kathy
your
Hochul,
pesky
you can beg all you want, but you have neighbors who haven't screwed up the way you have, and they will win, and you will lose. And you know what? We could all, like, we don't have to live in New York City.
I know.
We could move right across the river, one way or the other.
Watch this.
And we're out of that mess.
It's the middle class that's screwed. They don't have that freedom of movement. They don't have the ability.
So when you hear things like they're trying to destroy the middle class, most people hear these things, but they don't understand what it means. Okay? Because you have people that always want to raise the taxes. Okay? Like how he said, he just mentioned, he said, you know what, I don't have to be here. I could just take my bags and go. That's the resources that he has. Everybody don't have that. So now these people are going to be stuck in that city with the bill. Okay? So, Man. You ever hear them talk about destroying the middle class? This is what they're talking about. Because they're always trying to attack the people that, man Joe, what's up, man Joe? That's my man Joe. That's a good brother. So you always have people trying to tax the wealthy. Okay? Like I said, they leave, the bill falls on the middle class. They got to deal with that along with inflation, along with job losses, along with daycare, all type of stuff. Middle class is being destroyed because we're attacking the main people that put shelter and covering over the middle class. And the middle class is so important because our country is ran off the middle class. You understand? So we don't want to destroy or eradicate that umbrella that we have over the middle class. I don't know if this is sinking in. Don't worry about it. It takes time. Time is the biggest snitch in the world. Time tells on everything and everybody. All you got to do is give it time, stick with the information. It'll click sooner or later. And when it clicks, you're going to say to yourself, man, why the hell are we taxing the wealthy? Trying to tell you. We'll save it at that. I don't want to keep repeating myself and become redundant, but we'll just leave it at that.
To do that, they're the ones that are really screwed by these tax proposals for this dumb mayor.
It's true, but their kids might move.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
the
can I
next
talk to you about
generation.
the business community? Because I'm not hearing enough from the business community speaking out. And I was very much on Bill Ackman's side, where he was very against Mamdani. And then when Mamdani won, he said, I'm willing to work with you. And I thought, yeah, that's good, right? Like, if you have a business here, you have to be willing to work with the leaders. But I need more people to be speaking out in the business community if they really are against these. I don't like this, like, backdoor, where we were talking about Larry Fink at BlackRock for 100 years saying green energy, woke. And now that it's not in vogue, finally now speaking out. I need them to speak out now. Why aren't we hearing business leaders speak out?
Because people want to do what is not going to blow back in their face. Larry Fink didn't want to go out and speak against green energy, even if that's what he actually believed.
Right. And it's not, don't take their silence for weakness. People are not trying to get canceled, and people are not trying to get into crazy arguments, whether you're on the left or the right. So instead of just arguing with these people, they're not going to do that. They just want to protect their wealth, as any human being should do, is protect their wealth. I guarantee you, anybody that votes for taxing the wealthy, that's only because you ain't wealthy. It's only because you ain't wealthy. That whole narrative will switch up quick once you get rich. Okay? Once you get rich, you ain't going to want to hear none of that tax the wealthy stuff. You're gonna go from left. You're gonna go from left all the way to the right side. Okay? That's what it is. That's what's gonna happen.
Because that didn't help his business. That didn't help his shareholders. That didn't help money flowing into BlackRock. So I think it's more of the same now. There's nobody out there who's running. Start with medium-sized businesses. Okay, take minimum wage from $17 to $30 an hour. Ooh. Yes, they'll lose workers. They could get robots, but before that happens, they probably go out of business, or they take their business elsewhere. So who does that help in the long run? So we're a few months into Mamdani's 4-year term. It's only going to get worse, and a lot worse. So the high earners aren't speaking out. I was interested to hear if Jamie Dimon weighed in on this.
Now, of course, like about a month ago, I did a video on Mamdani, right? So we're gonna stick on this. We're gonna keep watching it from week to week, and we're just gonna see what happens, right? We're just gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what New York is gonna turn into, and we're gonna watch this thing very closely. We're gonna see how it works out.
I think should, and he'll come out with his talking points here and there, but anyone who's earning high earners in New York City have to be thinking about going elsewhere, because it's the writing's on the wall that taxes are going in one direction. That's higher. So costs also, quiet taxes are going up everywhere, but taxes on the wealthy, on the rich, are going to continue to go up. There's no end in sight. So this is the first time in my life, and again, born and raised in New York, first time where I think, man, maybe the city doesn't come back this time.
Wow, really?
Hell no. Protect your money. Protect your money. Of course. I mean, we have to say that. Nobody has to really say that. That's just, everybody deep down inside is going to protect their money. Like all this, as I'm saying, all this is disingenuous. All of this is disingenuous. All this is disingenuous, man. All right. It's almost like only people. When people get rich, they gonna totally flip sides. They ain't nobody gonna be talking about I'm just trying to distribute all my money out and allocate it to strangers. I'm just gonna voluntarily pay more taxes. Already provide most of the jobs. Already keeping the city running. Already paying for the bridges. Already funding the police officers. Okay. Already money already going into the schools. Now you want me to pay more taxes? That's crazy. And then insult them in the process.
Yeah.
And you're a business leader here.
I am.
You have business here, and you're thinking and that's the hard thing. I never bet against New York. Post 9/11, you don't bet against New York. Post COVID, you don't bet against New York. And this, I'm with you. The first time where I'm like, oh, am I betting against New York?
The worst enemy is the enemy within.
Hey, you never lie about that.
God, you guys are
Coming
so
up.
dark. No.
We're all going to go sleep at Jackie's house when we can't afford our rent. That's what we're doing.
All right, so so closing out.
Your favorite sports.
So closing out, that's just a little quick review. Okay, on why it is not important to run off the millionaires. So with that being said, I'm gonna log back in probably tomorrow. We'll talk about we'll probably revisit it next week. But just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Be very, very wary when people say they're going to tax the rich. Get the hell out of Dodge. That's a bad thing. All right. That's almost like that's like you living in a home. I'll put it to you like this before I go. That's equivalent to you living in a home and your buddy is paying all the bills in the house and you decide to put him out. That don't make any sense, right? Yeah, exactly. Get the hell out of Dodge. When you hear them start talking that crazy stuff, you ain't gotta say nothing. Don't get into an argument with them. You don't want to hurt nobody's feelings with the politics. I get it. Just remove yourself out of that city because it's turned into a hellhole. Just know that. But anyway, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Lit Ninja, man, I definitely appreciate you, bro, man. You a solid brother, man. Always have been. All right, and y'all have a good night. Appreciate you. I'm out.